Hi, I'm going to read I Cannot Live Without You by Emily Dickinson. Just so you know, my oral interpretation of the story is going to be audio, but I'm going to have the text up so you can follow along with what I'm reading. I cannot live with you. It would be life, and life is over there behind the shelf. The sexton keeps the key to putting up our life, his porcelain like a cup. Discarded of the housewife, quaint or broken, a new severs pleases, old ones crack. I could not die with you, for one must wait to shut the other's gazes down. You could not. And could I stand by and see you freeze, without the right of frost, death's privilege. Nor could I rise with you, because your face would put out Jesus, that new grace. Glow plain and foreign on my homesick eyes, except that you, then he, shone closer by. They judge us, how for you served heaven. You know, you sought to. I could not. Because you saturated sight, I have no more eyes, for sordid excellence as paradise. And were you lost, I could be, though my name rang loudest on the heavenly fame. And were you saved, and I condemned to be where you were not, that self would be hell to me. So we must meet apart, you there, I here, with just the door ajar. The oceans are in prayer, and that white sustenance, despair. So after reading through and analyzing and thinking about this poem, I think it is about a woman who loves a man, kind of obviously. Even it's in the title. The title is I Cannot Live Without You. I feel like that's kind of, like already a given. But I think, so while reading through the story, I see a lot of things where she's saying, let me find one. And could I stand by you, freeze right by the passage of privilege, nor could I rise with you. So she keeps saying, I cannot live without you, but I also can't rise with you. I can't we can't live together. She says that the sexton keeps the key to their life. And a sexton is somebody who is a part of the church and kind of runs it, but not 100%. But so I think he might be the reason she can't be with him, and she keeps saying, I love you and I can't live without you, but I can't be with you. I think he's a priest. Later on in the story, it says they judge us, how for you served heaven. You serve heaven, and you went to, I can't remember the technical term, but the only term that's coming to my head is priest school. So he went to become a priest. And as we all know, priests can't marry or be intimate with another human being. So I think that he is a priest, and she's devastated because she can't be with him in public, but she still loves him, and she feels that she can't live without him. So she continues on and on about how she loves this man, but she can't be with him not for so many reasons. From what I am understanding, I do believe he is a priest, and that's why she cannot be with him, as I have said. But, so then in the end, she says, so we must meet apart, you there, I here, with doors ajar. So it seems like they are meeting, but definitely in secret, so people don't know about it. So then she says, and prayer in that white sustenance. By white sustenance, I think she could mean, white is a very holy color, so when we think about it, I personally just see, heaven as, the white sustenance, so I think she could be talking about heaven. So, through prayers and, hope of heaven, she thinks that they'll get through this, but then at the very end, she said despair. So I believe that when she's thinking about heaven and she's religious, and I believe that we can get through this, but then she says despair at the end, so she actually knows that they won't. I also think it's really interesting because this was written by Emily Dickinson, who lived in the 1800s. To be writing a piece like this that seems to be relating to a woman being intimate with a priest or like somebody of the church, that's really kind of strange to me. You wouldn't think that she would, because that definitely is like not okay for the time. Actually, it's not okay for any time, but in that time it would have been like, ooh, scandalous. And I thought it was really interesting that she kind of wrote about this, and then when her family was going through her poems, that they did actually publish this. But yeah, so that's my interpretation of the story. I really liked reading through this one. I hope you enjoyed. Good night.